What's up, everybody? It's your boy Keefe. I'm back with another edition of GhostCultMag.com's weekly ritual, our rock and metal news show all over the web. It has been a week, and I am having a day, but I'm hanging in there as best I can. Room's a little messy because I'm got some shit going on, but we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it. Sonic Worshippers here. Thanks for being here. As usual, the best experience for this show is YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch, but I like hanging out on TikTok. I will drop the tip menu into the window here if you guys want to drop me a tip. We make some money from advertising, from ads on our website, ghostcultmag.com, but we are not corporate owned and backed. So sometimes a tip is necessitated. Let's see. I'm trying to get this tip menu happening so y'all are not in the dark. I feel like that Hoobastank song. I keep crawling in the dark, looking for an answer. Here we go. So if you guys want to drop us a tip, we are launching memberships soon in conjunction with our YouTube and our newsletter, which you can always sign up for. And yeah, thanks for being here, everybody. It's another week. You could watch any show, but you're hanging out with me, which I greatly appreciate. Lots to get through and lots to go through. So just dispense with the pleasantries and rock this shit as quickly as possible because I got shit to do. Let's see. Gary Waters is here. What's up, Gary? All right, let's do the damn thing. We got this very Halloween appropriate, spooky thumbnail that I made for the whole month, and I'm doing the inspired by Metallica arms cross thing there. I don't know if you guys had that poster in the 80s like I did. I saw it all the time. And yeah, the Metallica poster got me through a lot of shit. So yeah, we have a big show for you. There's a lot of shit going on in the world. There's a lot of shit going on in music. We're going to talk all about it. First, the announcements is where we start every show, is with the announcements. Just a reminder, if you're in the LA vicinity or thereabouts, or you can get to LA, we are giving away 5 pairs of tickets to see The Cult, Death Cult, Failure, and Patriarchy in LA coming up soon. So you can hit the link in our description for that. Eyes of Eris is here. What up, what up, what up? Appreciate you. And yeah, let's see. Just a reminder, I relaunched my second channel. Sort of a de facto second channel for Ghost Cult. It's going to be the home for some of my music marketing stuff, free advice for bands and labels. Going to do some karaoke stuff there because I host karaoke on the weekends and sometimes I do metal songs, so I thought that would be fun. Vincent Wren, what up? Long time no see, pal. Did not know you were a TikToker. Cannot be 2 Vincent Wrens. It can only be 1. It can be only 1. Liquid Death. So yeah. Follow me at Ghost Cult Keefe 666 on YouTube and at Ghost Cult Keefe on Instagram. But specifically, I'm going to be doing some specific sort of behind the scenes content that is only going to live mostly there, and some stuff like the live streams will be duplicated. Tomorrow, Friday, October 3rd, is the next Bandcamp Friday. I don't know how people still feel about Bandcamp Friday, but it used to be a big deal for me. I love supporting bands. I still try to support all the bands in the underground. And I'm looking forward to, hopefully doing that for many more years. Obviously, there's still other competitors to Bandcamp, Ampwall, and things like that. Pretty damn fresh. Celebrating birthdays this week include Motley Crue's Tommy Lee, who is 100 million years old, and his schlong is 200 million years old. Lejon Witherspoon of Seven Dust's birthday is tomorrow. I love this photo here by our photographer, Evil Rob of Evil Rob Photography. Herman Lee of Dragon Force has a birthday tomorrow. Also celebrating a birthday today is Jim Root of Slipknot. A lot of Slipknot birthdays in the fall. Alan Robert of Life of Agony, and also the celebrated New York Times best-selling adult comic book artist. Alan's birthday is today. Happy birthday, Alan. And Fran Drescher, best known as Bobby Fleckman from Spinal Tap 1 and Spinal Tap 2. She is a goddess, and she is great, and her birthday is today, which is amazing. Super, super fun. And also, happy birthday to my homie Mike. Mike from my band Salted Wounds. When you hear the Ghost Cult intro music and the outro music, that is Salted Wounds, the band Mike fronted. You can see this photo of Mike that we shared on our socials of me playing bass in the background. Jorge, what up? Not my Jorge from my band, but another Jorge, but that's also cool. Every Jorge is welcome here. And Tom Morello's mom is 102 today, or yesterday. Holy shit. He posted a really cute post of them making protest signs for her birthday. I think that's adorable. I hope I'm that cool. I probably won't get to be that old, but I hope I'm that cool when I'm older. It would be kind of rad to be that old and still kicking that much ass. Celebrating album anniversaries this last week include Mastodon the Hunter. It's going to be 15 years old next year. Holy shit. Gojira. I mean, this is... hey, Mark Badger's here. What up, Holmes? This Gojira record is 20 years old. Holy... just from Mars to Sirius. Jesus. Fucking Christ on a bike. I'm old. Shanker next week. That's right. The album comes out this week. I'm super excited. We're still trying, we are vying to still get an interview with Schenker. It'd be cool if we did. Meshuggah, this is a classic oldie. I'll embiggen this screen. Y'all don't need to see me. Contradictions Collapse. I can't see even with my glasses, so I don't know why I'm trying not to. Slayer, Divine Intervention. For many people, the best Slayer album of the 90s that's not Seasons in the US. Lamb of God's debut album, New American Gospel. Becca Beer Space, we are doing our rock and metal news. So if you're a rock and metal news fan, you want to be here. That's what we do. We're doing a quick rundown of all the news. Creator, Violent Revolution. I do want to say, like, we were doing my other podcast this week, and my co-host said he didn't care much for Creator. And Sean Henderson passed by also. And I was like, it's okay if you don't like Creator, but if you go see Creator live, it's impossible not to enjoy them live. And I love that, much like most German metal front people of all persuasions, Creator is just so entertaining. Just the most entertaining band ever. Millet is incredible. He's like, Violent Revolution! He kind of announces every song like with that same gusto, and I fucking like it. MW is here. What up, what up? So, let's see what else. Sabotage, this is a golden oldie. Good record there. Iron Maiden, No Prayer for the Dying. Not a great record, honestly, but, solid. Ozzy, the very mixed No Rest for the Wicked, was supposed to be like him, Jesus, with the Children Apostles. Kind of in hindsight, not a good album cover either. Record's just so-so. I know people love it. Hammerfall with a badass one. The worst Black Sabbath album with Ozzy, kind of. Never Say Die, with just a couple of good songs. And that's all the metal history. Once again, popped up the tip menu in case you want to drop us a tip. If you want to jump over to anybody on TikTok, if you've got a song you want me to check out for a tip, you can feel free to send us some money. Slayer fan, Creator's great. Not my favorite Ozzy album. We just did on my other podcast, we finished our series on Ozzy, and we did the first 15 years of Ozzy albums. So Blizzard of Oz through Osmosis. And the first few are incredible. I think No More Tears is incredible. And then the other records are they have big hits, but they're kind of a mixed bag of songs. So speaking of Slayer, I'm wearing my Slayer parody shirt that says Selena on it with the Slayer logo. I also have a Slayer like Leia, which is also great. And so, yeah, if you guys want to drop us a tip or subscribe to us, Scooter's here. What up, Scooter? Good to see you, pal. We're doing the show. We just started. A little late start. I'm trying to bang through this thing. Time for some features here at Ghost Cult. So here's some big things we did this week. Big support from Pakistan. Thank you, MWZTGRM. Much respect. Much respect. Now, it is a fun shirt, I'm not going to lie. I think it was Joey James Hernandez did this shirt. I could be mistaken. I did some live streaming this week in addition to this live stream and our other video interviews and things we'll talk about in a second. I talked about, was Metallica snubbed for the Super Bowl? Did they really even have a chance to play the Super Bowl in their hometown, Santa Clara, where the 49ers play, is about an hour or less than an hour south of here, where I live in San Francisco. Ghost Cult is a global organization. We have been around for a very long time. 13 years next week. We will probably be doing a fun giveaway. One of you might win a box of merch if you're subscribed to us on YouTube and Instagram. So yeah, I did a whole deep dive on why Bad Bunny was chosen to do the Super Bowl, why people are too mad about it, why Metallica was not considered, will they ever do it, other bands that could conceivably do it. Go watch that when you're done watching this. It's on our podcast, it's on our YouTube, all that stuff. Also, I talked about Gwar and freedom of speech and just the Riot Fest, which we have covered many years but did not cover this year. But I felt like I wanted to jump on and talk about that. You have to be able to protect free speech and satire. Otherwise, they're going to start jailing metal bands for being, politically active and, opposite whatever other people think. Another interview we had this week on our podcast is Vimic. Vimic was the death metal project from Joey Jordison, and he passed away a while back. And Vimic has had this lost, unreleased album that was completely done, mostly, and it's finally coming out this week. It's coming out tomorrow. Open Your Omen. It's only had a few singles and never had the full album released. Maybe it got leaked to YouTube. I'm not sure, but the band is going to play a perhaps final gig or a gig in Los Angeles with the original band minus Joey, of course, and some other members of the band and a bunch of guest star drummers stepping in for Joey. So it's going to be pretty great. We have an interview with Jed Simon. You probably know Jed most from Strapping Young Lad and Tenet and bands like that. And then also Kaylin Chase, who's the singer of this band. So I interviewed the two of them. It's on our podcast. Check it out. It's a lot of talking about Joey. We all got kind of emotional talking about Joey, not gonna lie. Levi is here, or Levy, and Side Def is here. What up, what up? So yeah, very, very important. Very important interview. In case you missed it, we also ran our interview both on YouTube and our podcast with Dallas Toller Wade of Narcotic Wasteland. He was formerly in Nile. They just wrapped up a huge tour. They are getting over to Europe soon. A whole lot of stuff going on with that band. We always have a good time talking to him. Big feature interviews this week on Ghost Cult here at YouTube and on our podcasts include Niklas Carlson of Orbit Culture, probably the biggest death metal band, the biggest death metal record of the rest of the year after Lorna Shore's album came out. And Niklas is incredible. He talked about challenging himself as a singer and a whole bunch of other stuff. So super cool. There was a big kind of scrum to try to sign them to a record deal. So it's kind of awesome that they, they kind of persevered. I'm really very impressive stuff. Also, my partner Omar Cordy interviewed Matt Barlow of Ashes of Ares and formerly of Iced Earth, and maybe someday again of Iced Earth. We'll see. Ashes of Ares is on tour right now in Europe, and they are playing The Dark Saga by Iced Earth in full. That's Matt Barlow and Freddie Vidalis' power metal band. And Omar is a great interviewer, and he did almost an hour interview with that. So if you want to dive deep into this thing, you definitely want to check it out. Orbit Culture is absolutely amazing, and I've seen them live now twice, and they were crushing heavy. I really haven't felt this good about a band in a long time, maybe since Gojira or Nemec. I don't know. But yeah, Matt Barlow, I met him, good dude. He is the brother-in-law of John Schaefer. We don't have to talk about that right now, but yeah, very solid dude. He was wearing kind of like a newsy hat in the interview that made me think like, oh man, you are Hey, I'm back. So we are not on iHeartRadio, thanks though. I am trying to get through a whole news show and then I got to get out of town. But if you pop back up in a future episode and you jump on early and ask us to jam some music, I'm happy to. Realistically, one of the things we do here is we're trying not to get demonetized because we do have a lot of content that is our own, but also it's really weird. I don't know if anybody else here works in social media. I do. I'm a marketing professional, not just the music, but other people, plus being produced by Buster Oldham is fire, bro. I'm with you, Scooter. Dillinger is here. What's up? So now I got several of my everydayers, Dillinger and Scooter, but I'm enjoying this conversation, Becky. But yeah, just today I'm trying to get through to the end of the show pretty quickly because I'm trying to get out of town. Alex on Fire 61 is here. Becky Friend is here. Thank you for sending a pumpkin. Feel free to give us a tip or send us some hearts or something. I appreciate it. All right. So yeah, I'm just not getting demonetized is my number one job here. Is it's just really hard. If we put up like a video on YouTube, it doesn't have the same rules as Instagram and TikTok, and they're all different, and it's really challenging. Dillinger at Aftershock and Furnace Fest this weekend. Dude, I'm missing Aftershock. I'm pretty bummed, but I'm having some FOMO, but I just couldn't pull it off to go. I got some personal stuff going on. I'll be okay, but I can't make the festival this year. I pulled out, which sucks. I will get a few interviews done the next couple of weeks with some of the bands that are at Aftershock. I just won't get to be there in person, which, it's kind of a bummer. All right, let's get this back on track. Bandcamp Friday, birthdays, metal history. We're going to do festivals in just a second. So we're talking about albums out this week and then features. So I did all the interviews, some live streams. I also did some concert reviews. I like doing the concert review of Nine Inch Nails. And then I jumped on late last week and I did a review of Wardruna, Baroness, and the Sword. Not in that order, but those are the last three shows that I saw. The next show I'm probably going to is Gore and Helmet and or maybe Priest and Alice Cooper and Corrosion and Conformity. And because I don't have enough to do, I also have another job that is the Glacially Musical Podcast, Beer, Metal, and Swearing. This week, we did a special collab live stream. So we streamed on all our channels. Normally, we record it and then post it. And we did a series. Oh, I'm going to talk about sepsis in a minute if you can hang on, Dillinger. Give me 10 minutes. We had just done our series on Ozzy Osbourne, which you can go back and listen to. We did the first 15 years of albums of Ozzy. Maybe eventually we'll do the rest if there's enough interest and people comment on those videos and want us to do more. And so we did a Chaser episode and we reviewed the top rock and metal albums of 1995. Could be controversial. Originally, I was like, this year is hard and it's not that good. And then I was like, oh, it's actually really deep and good. And especially that, trying to pick three at the top was fucking impossible. But I did. Bog Wizard is here. What up, Bog Wizard? Great to see you. I have gotten your messages and I am checking out your new album. Thank you. All right. That's all the minutiae done in about 20 minutes. Now it's time for the news rundown. And we always start the news rundown with metal festivals. And of course, as Dillinger alluded to, Aftershock is this weekend. I'll embiggen myself everywhere but TikTok. And Aftershock, is already started today. Acid Bath, Power Trip played, Hatebreed, SOD, which is JB Josta, and Dan Looker and Scott Ian with Revel Ian on drums. Hollywood Undead, All American Rejects, and then kind of Good Charlotte, Taking Back Sunday, All Time Low, Alkaline Trio, State Champs, Hoobastank, the Ataris, who have a new song out this week, and Blink at the top. Tomorrow, Deftones, Turnstile, Knock Loose, Dillinger, Escape Plan, Perfect Circle, Lamb of God, Bruce Dickinson, Kerry King, Solo, Dream Theater, Randomly, Testament, Exodus, and a few other bands. That's kind of cool. And then Saturday, Korn, Gojira, Chevelle, Bad Omens in a rare festival date here. 3 Days Grace, Trivium, new EP coming soon for Trivium, Dragon Force, Bring Me the Horizon on Sunday with Manson, Motionless in White, Black Veil Brides, Rob Zombie, Mudvayne, In This Moment, Machine Head, Flyleaf, Pop Evil, bunch of bands. So kind of cool. Thank you, Zachary. I appreciate you. Zachary Spicer is here. And Bud Bole is here. What's up? What's up? What's up? Like Lycanthrope Management. We've been messaging. So yeah, big festival weekend. We are covering, I could not go to Aftershock, but we are covering Punk in the Park in San Pedro, California, which was the home of the No Effects farewell shows last year, Punk and Drublick. And Bad Religion, who I love, Pennywise, Descendants. We got some big Descendants news coming up soon. Interrupters, Face to Face, Screeching Weasel, I don't give a fuck about. Addicts, great. Stiff Little Fingers, Street Dogs, Comeback Kid, The Bronx, Casualties, True Sounds of Liberty, Adolescence, Agent Orange, Manic Hispanic, Teenage Bottle Rocket, Guttermouth, 1, 2, 3, 4, Slam, Bomb Pops, Dwarves, Ignite, Death by Stereo, and a bunch of other bands. It's just going to be great. Our homie Wayne Edwards is down there, going to review and photograph. Yeah, I really want to go see Priest and I wouldn't mind seeing Manson again. I think it'd be interesting to check him out. He's sober. Apparently, I've heard some very good reports from the tour. Some photographers that we work with down in the LA area were covering that Manson tour, like out on the tour with the opening band, Black Satellite, one of the biggest rising bands right now. And they said that Manson was like back to like the peak of his power because he's healthy for the first time in a long time. So good for him. I did a review of the Manson album. I felt like nobody was talking about it. It was pretty controversial. People were mad that I did it, but we live in challenging times, my friends, challenging times. Furnace Fest this weekend could be the last Furnace Fest. I hope not, but they did have to like discount the tickets and scale back some of the after shows. But I do hope they continue. I was always hoping to go to this. Jimmy Eat World headlining tonight. Dropkick Murphys headlining tomorrow. Knock Loose headlining Sunday with Converge and Biohazard and a bunch of other killer bands. Very cool. Very cool. Also announced for next year, the first bands for Sonic Temple and Welcome to Rockville. Sonic Temple going very heavy into like the death metal. We already know that they're going to have My Chemical Romance at one of these. Godsmack, Seven Dust, All That Remains, Saliva, Nonpoint, Spine Shank, Il Nino, Primer 55 for Rockville. And Lorna Shore, in particular, of interest to me for and Brand of Sacrifice in Sonic Temple, which will have some other huge announcements soon. All the Danny Wimmer Fest, they do a great job. We're big fans. Tennessee Metal Devastation Fest revealed their entire schedule. It's headlined by the deathcore band Filth that we interviewed a while back. And Summoner Circle, The Homies and Casket Robbery, Frail, who I'm still a huge fan of, Visitant, big fan of that album that just came out, Red Mountain, and a bunch of other bands. That takes place next weekend. Nice. The redheaded piece, the redacted piece is Dillinger. That's fun. Thanks, Dillinger. Yeah, that's the old poster. I'm sorry. That's the best I could do. I really was hoping it. So we were supposed to cover Furnace Fest last year when we thought it was the last one. But we didn't get a chance to get it, kind of fell through. We had a really kind of a tough year, and I'm not complaining because I love my team all over the world. We cover metal festivals and concerts every week all over the world. But we just had a run of bad luck where a lot of people had family stuff or illnesses and stuff. And I'm a person, even though I don't have any immediate family left alive, and I've talked openly about that, I'm a family first person. So my chosen family, my friends, my girlfriend, her family now, I will put them always first before any of this stuff. It's not that important. All right. Also, this got announced. Oops, I'm just too fast. Takedown Festival for next spring. Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons playing all of Motorhead. President, who's got their first few American shows coming soon. Let's see, South of Salem, Lestel, Mouth Culture, great band, Azomel, and some others. There's many more bands going to be announced. Yep, Prepare the Ground. I didn't have a chance to grab that. Poster, but I am excited about Prepare the Ground. I will tell you, it's a long way off, and I'm not sure what's going on with my life. But Mike, I already gave you a shout out for your birthday. I hope you saw it. Happy birthday, brother. I appreciate you, and hope to see you when I come back your way. Or maybe you'll come out here for a game sometime. Prepare the Ground. I'll be honest with you. It's right around the time of Maryland Death Fest, and I would really like to go see it. So next week we'll talk more about Prepare the Ground. I think it's the final and only North American show for Svalbard, who I'm a huge fan of, the black and death metal band from the UK. This is kind of sucky. So Metal Threat Festival is supposed to take place this weekend in Elgin, Illinois, which is right outside of Chicago, if any Chicagoans are here and know about this. And so at the last minute, a whole ton of bands got their visas canceled or not come through, which again, we've been talking openly about this, regardless of who you, hey, Valkyrie Cult Queen, are you talking about the Metal Threat Festival? Is that tonight? I'm really sorry that they're going. To me, I am on the side of metal and metal festivals and metal bands and people. So I'm not. Oh, nice. I'm not rooting against them. I did feel like my peers over at Lambgo dunked on them a little hard, and I get that if you were a fan, they did offer refunds. I think also if you were a fan of going to this festival and a bunch of bands dropped out at the last second, you would feel cheated and upset because you were looking forward to it. But this is the reality. Bands from Europe are going to have a hard time coming here and securing visas and new work visas to come here. Our bands in the USA are going to have a hard time going over to Europe and touring successfully because of these visas, because of tariffs, because of all these high things. I know that people don't think they're all connected, but they're actually all interrelated. So again, my heart goes out to anybody that was going to this festival and their band is not going to be there, or their fan of their band should have planned farther ahead. Well, what's interesting? It's hard to know. And a lot of bands get visas and then the visa process is not transparent. I know people are really mad, but I don't think you should be dunking on the fest. The same thing happened to Prague Power, where for years, Prague Power is the only festival that I know of in the world that will pay for the visa fees for other bands to come to their festival. So they get a lot of exclusive progressive metal bands that come there. But then the prices quintupled in less than a year, and they had to ask for additional Kickstarter money from their fans. And people were happy to pay for it. But I don't know about that. All right, Metal Threat Festival, I'm rooting for you, and I am sorry that this happened, and I'm not dunking on them. I get that people are mad. Okay. Just on to some concert news. Wardruna wrapped up their headline tour with Chelsea Wolfe. We were really proud and honored to help collaborate with Wardruna's team on this tour. We will be bringing coverage of this Monday to the site. I already did a live stream review of the first night of the tour and some merch posts over here at Ghost Cult on YouTube and other places. And just an unbelievable tour. If you have a chance to see Wardruna again in the next year, absolutely go see them. They are so fucking good. And Chelsea Wolfe's incredible. I hope she's going to put a new album out soon. Wardruna Burna, one of my favorite albums of this whole year. My Chemical Romance tickets are on sale now for the Black Parade 2026 tour. We told you about that a little bit last week. Now we know the tickets are on sale. Ghost announced the Skeletor World Tour 2026 starting in North America. More dates to follow soon. If you're a Ghost fan, another arena tour. Bands I never thought would play in, festivals and, festivals and arenas and stadiums. Ghost and My Chemical Romance and Sleep Token. Parkway Drive has kicked off their UK tour this week. I know Architects is also kicking off a tour next week. We will be covering Parkway Drive Monday night in Manchester. Fucking awesome. I'm psyched. That is the 20th anniversary Parkway Drive tour. Nine Inch Nails has announced Peel It Back 2026 North American dates, again with Boys Noise. We saw that tour. It was fucking phenomenal. I went personally. It was really incredible. Kicking off in New Orleans right around the Super Bowl and ending here in my backyard in Sacramento. Hey, Don is here, Southeast of Heaven. What up, brother? Don, I mentioned the Glacially Musical podcast. You were missed this week, pal. Maybe you would have reined in Nick's King Diamond worship. I love King Diamond, but just not his bad records. He has some bad records. Again, mentioning Judas Priest and Cooper kicked off already, playing festivals and stuff this weekend. And then they are coming my way in about 2 weeks. So maybe I will go to either Shoreline Amphitheater or Wheatland. I don't know yet. Christopher's here. Tara is here. So, yeah, very cool. You will take care of him next week. The NyQuil is kicked in. All right, brother. I appreciate it. Mudvayne is in the middle of their LD50 25th anniversary tour. That is probably the band I wanted to see the most at Aftershock was Mudvayne. Jury is out if we can still cover this tour now, because that was my window to see them. Dark Angel on tour again. I have an interview that just ran with why don't we have a show on iHeartRadio? That is a good question. Dark Angel Extinction Level event, new album out now, on tour now. They are also coming around my way soon. I think they're playing here the same day as Gwar or thereabouts. I gotta check. Hey, Gabe is here. What's up, brother? Appreciate you being here. Yeah, Gene is the beast, man. Better Lovers Tour is already kicked off in Europe, and they're running for another few weeks. Oh, are you happy? I got it, Gabe. I appreciate that. Good to see you, bro. What is your shirt? Oh, my shirt says, I'm sorry. So really quick, I'm wearing my Slayer shirt, but it says Selena, because anything for Selena's. Not Selena Gomez. Selena, the Mexican singer that was tragically killed young. She should have been, one of the biggest stars in the world. She could have done the Super Bowl. She was getting that big. All right. Zoth is wrapping up the Exogalactic Actuality Tour this weekend. We had a recent interview with them. Great band for your progressive death metal bands. Melissa's here. What's up, Melissa? My love. How are you? I will see you soon. Running a little behind. I had a bunch of technical problems. It's always something, Bob. Helmet, Gwar, Dwarves, Blood Vulture, Gwar presents the return of Gorgor. Gwar will never be bigger than they are right the fuck right now. Becky, I appreciate you liking this shirt. Thank you. Big Don Mulan. Hey, that's a fun rhyme right there. She busted a rhyme. We were calling Nick Thick with 2 C's, Thick Nick, today, because he's girthy. He's our host. We love him. But yeah, Gwar will never be bigger than this moment right now. All these dumbass people hating on them. Did not notice that they have been doing this shit for 40 years. Anyway, fucking idiots. All right. Earn, once again, on tour right now in the UK. European dates later this winter with Orange Goblin for their final dates ever. Orange Goblin hanging it up. I understand why. Dark Angel not streaming their music online, in my opinion, was a poor choice. Well, if you go, I don't know if you watch, like Dillinger, I love that you're here. I don't know if you actually watch our band interviews, but I interviewed Gene and he talked openly about it. He hates streaming services. He thinks they rob the bands. And he just didn't want to have he wants people to buy the vinyl he buys the vinyl and he wants people to buy the vinyl and he wants people to buy the CD. I think it is a miscalculation. Maybe I would have put it limited on Bandcamp or something, or Ampwall, if you didn't want to fuck with Spotify. You thought it said urine. They have a yellow band shirt with the black metal urn, and it looks like urine. Urn are proteges of Gojira, so urn is not too dissimilar, like a sludgier, slower Gojira. I love this band. I've interviewed them. Great fucking band. Joe is the shit, and their new record's going to be a killer. Texas Metal Militia's here. What's up? What's up? What's up? You're in trouble. You're in for sloppy seconds at the gangbang. Mindless self-indulgence. Oh, Jimmy Urine. Oh, we can't talk about him anymore. He's canceled. All right, that's more than halfway through the show. Thanks for everybody watching so far. Just a reminder, if you want to drop us a tip, we are going to launch channel memberships, I promise, next week. Between our subscriptions to our newsletter and YouTube, I'm going to offer private content and streams. That's why I launched my second channel, which I talked about. Please go follow me on YouTube at GhostColdKeefe666 and at Instagram at GhostColdKeefe, as well as at GhostColdMan. Gabe, man, you never have to pay, bro. We're in the circle of trust. You're a friend, and you never have to donate. That's for everybody else that's not in the family or a ghost cultist or a real one. And Hot Pockets, word, I'll fuck up some Hot Pockets, but then my guts are gonna hate me. All right, just a reminder, if you want to have a fucking dope beard like I do, you need to get on this Fable Beard products. Fable Beard, or for the beardo in your life that loves metal. I love these products. They're all natural. They're awesome. My awesome, amazing girlfriend, Melissa, turned me on to this. And this is my favorite scent, the gin. I have the deodorant. I have the beard co-wash. I have another scent that I used here, the Bard. It's all D&D characters, and they're specially blended scents. And I love this shit. Yo, I'm just gonna spray it right now. I'm gonna smell like it right now. It's awesome. If you sign up with the link in our description, you get $10 off your first purchase, and their stuff is actually pretty reasonably cheap. You get like a $25 thing of beard balm or deodorants and things, like a 2-pack for $25. You get $10 off, and we get $10 credit so I can get more stuff for my beard and my body. Not allowing the public to at least preview the music online, it's a terrible idea. All respect to Gene. Yeah, I mean, they should have put out more than one single, maybe several music videos. It's challenging, bro. It's really challenging. I didn't debate him about it. He said, this is where we are. It's a line in the sand. They don't want their music on Spotify for a variety of reasons. We didn't even talk about when I did the live stream the other day that Apple Music, that is the sponsor of the Super Bowl halftime show featuring Bad Bunny and not any rock or metal bands, including Metallica or Journey, who are from the fucking Bay Area. Apple Music pays the worst, even worse than Spotify, because their numbers, their pool. Apple Music Premium and Apple Music have less users. I know iPhone people think that they're the shit, and iPhones are fun. I had one for work once. But they actually have less subscribers and paid subscribers, so they pay less. Once again, if you see ads at ghostcultmag.com, our website, you are seeing stuff from the Lamb Goat Media Network. Yeah, Don knows Apple pays the worst. I think maybe what Dark Angel should have did is went to Ampwall or Bandcamp, and perhaps my upcoming review of that album, we'll talk about it. And we've been talking about this for weeks, Dillinger, that people think they maybe mailed it in. It's pretty generic thrash, blah, blah, blah. They didn't send a promo out. Listen, their publicist all over the world is a person that works with Ghost Cult and for Ghost Cult. And so I asked, can we get the record to preview it and review it to drive interest? And they were like, they're not sharing the record at all. No one has heard this record unless they bought it. So if somebody out there bought the record and they can get in their video and say, here's the record, I have it, right? If they can't do that, they didn't hear it. I'm telling you 100%. I know for a fact it wasn't sent out to anybody. Anyhow, Lamb Goat Media Network for all your needs. They're kind of the meaner version of Ghost Cult. Like I said, they were dunking on that festival. I felt kind of bad, but kind of that's their vibe, right? That's what they do. And again, StreamYard, if you're watching this, unfortunately, everywhere but TikTok, you're watching this through the magic of StreamYard. Sign up if you want to stream like we do. Thanks again. We've got quite a bunch of watchers on YouTube now and on somebody on Twitch and a few people on Facebook and a bunch of people on the gram. Thanks so much for being here, all of y'all. This is your show, too. I want to settle an argument. Is Youngblood an industry plant? The answer is no, he is not. I think we're going to talk about Youngblood in like literally 10 seconds. He is not an industry plant. So once again, we're on all the socials. We have a newsletter. It never kind of ends, but we're on all these things. If you like them, we also post on Discord and Reddit. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Threads. I do love this meme. This is like the Bad Bunny is doing the Super Bowl and I'm not going to watch. And it's all these white herbs. People even in the comments were not understanding. Hey, my homie is here. Jorge, what up, brother? Maybe we're going back to the studio this weekend, Jorge. I hope Abe reached out to you. Because he reached out to me. He's coming back to town. So let's get it. Let's get it. Angst Music SF coming back. Follow us at Angst Music SF. All right, time for the rest of the news. And it has been a buck wild fucking week. A brand new single from Lamb of God out of nowhere. Sepsis, music video and song. Like a different vibe. I don't know if I sent it to you, Jay. I don't think so. But like very groovy, kind of reminded me of a Slayer song or an old Sepultura, like how Sepultura used to do before they went a little more punk rock. It's very very heavy and Pantera groovy, like all the Lamb of God stuff, and then it's got like a pow thrash ending. Lamb of God has their Headbangers boat cruise coming up soon in Miami to Mexico at Cozumel and back, and would love to go on one of these metal cruises someday, but I think I got to get my sea legs first. Jay, I'm going to text you later on from the road. Boston Chuck is passing by. What up, son? What's up, kid? Fucking wicked pisser. Yankees, kid, they're coming back. I know you don't care. So again, the Super Bowl, this was the biggest discussion of the week. Just like, why is the NFL Why is the NFL using like pop stars? But I think this is actually a big deal. I was very impressed. Just really quickly to sum up my live stream from the other night. If you don't understand why the NFL is trying to attract global pop stars and not Metallica or Guns N' Roses of the week, nice. Like I said, he's a huge star, and the NFL. I saw a really interesting stat that was sent to me 5 years ago. 3 of the top 100 songs were considered Latin, rap, trap, or reggaeton. And today it's 31 songs of the top 100 songs, whether it's streaming, Billboard, sales, whatever the fuck. So you know what, man? Go take a shit, go take a leak if you don't like Bad Bunny. I was very impressed with him when I saw him at Fire Aid early in the year. I thought he was actually one of the most impressive artists that I saw, and he's not a music I listen to. So I'm going to give him a chance. I love Kendrick. And, as long as Jay-Z is booking the talent for the Super Bowl and driving the artistic vision, we will probably not see AC/DC, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Def Leppard, Green Day, nobody. I highly doubt it. All right. Did you see the first trailer for this Ozzy documentary? There's several Ozzy documentaries all coming out now. And there's also a very cool Mark Maron documentary that I want to see. I heard it's very emotional. This Ozzy documentary trailer broke me, and I'm not ready for 2 documentaries again about additional stuff with Ozzy. And I don't know if people are watching. Into the Void launched a week ago on Hulu and Disney Plus, and I've watched about half of it, and I need to kind of rewatch it and take some notes before I do a extensive deep dive here and on the website. And the first episode is about the death of Randy Rhoads, and it's chilling to see Ozzy even recently talking about him in the last couple of years. Just heartbreaking. Ozzy will have his revenge, Gabe. That is the best comment ever. Frances Farmer will have her revenge on Seattle, like Nirvana said, and Ozzy Osbourne will have his revenge on the Squares. So speaking of Youngblood, and whether Youngblood is an industry plant, Aerosmith and Youngblood's song, One More Time, is officially the #1 rock song in the entire world. Holy fucking shit. I didn't really need this song. I don't need a comeback from Aerosmith. I don't need an EP from them. And is it really Aerosmith if it's just Steven and Joe? But gotta say, pretty killer song. I don't love auto-tune on the rock vocal. Steven probably needs the auto-tune. Youngblood is young and doesn't need it, but we shall see. There is also a vinyl EP version of this that's coming out. And the Zeppelin, I didn't talk about this and prepare a thing on it, but the Zeppelin, it was like some murkiness about whether that Zeppelin EP was going to get released, that live EP, and it did come out, and it is like in the top 3 on Amazon for sales. So that's pretty hot. I think it's going to sell out probably if you're a Zepp fan. I am. Korn is going, speaking of vinyl, is going to do a vinyl reissue of See You on the Other Side. I think this was a very misunderstood and awesome record. It is the record that they got to do MTV Unplugged. I wish that MTV would bring back MTV Unplugged as a new show with today's artists. I'd love to see Wolfgang Van Halen and Blacktop Mojo and, Hailstorm do Unplugged. I would love to see some shit like that. But yeah, Korn, man, I'm excited. I reached out to their team to maybe send me a copy for a review here. I've been doing a lot of vinyl unboxings and reviews. The last one I did was Insight. Shout out to Raining Phoenix Music for sending me that. So let's see what happens, and maybe we'll be giving away some Korn vinyl also. This is pretty interesting. Peter Ewers, formerly of In Flames and currently of the Halo Effect, is now an assemblyman in his hometown in Sweden. He was one of the 25 people elected to the local parliament there. So he was like, I've been protesting and writing letters and attending rallies and all this stuff. And I felt like, you know what? The only way I can make a change is join the government and help fix it from the inside. So shout out to him. Joe Perry and Steven Tyler despise each other. Cash grab. How lame. I hear you, bro. I wouldn't mind seeing one farewell concert from Aerosmith in Boston. They never got to do their goodbye. Yep, no problem. No problem, Gabe. I appreciate you, bro. But yeah, not my favorite thing. I don't need Aerosmith coming back, and I certainly don't need Steven blowing his voice out forever. He was already warned by doctors he should not be like doing this shit anymore. Voivod has yet another book coming out. You know, Voivod has been doing issues and celebratory. There's a documentary coming out about them that just premiered, I think, in Toronto. Dillinger, is that right? Dillinger Compound, Voivod documentary, and now there's a Voivod book. Voivod shared this picture of them like 15 years ago at Ozfest, again missing Ozzy, and also shouting out Jason Newsted, Jay Sonic in the band. That was wild when Rob Zombie's bassist went to Metallica. Metallica's bassist went to Voivod. It was wild. It was fucking wild. Wheel of Time is a brand new shred guitar metal project. This is pretty baller. I heard the first single today and I was very impressed. Check out Wheel of Time. I believe this guy is the protege of, I want to say one of the Dragon Force guys. Oh, last year in Montreal. Okay, they recently showed it in Toronto. And I think Voivod is from Quebec, no? Or are they Montreal? I don't remember. I thought Quebec. I love Snake Bellinger's accent, Dillinger. We've never spoken, so I don't know if you have one. Goofy, I'm sorry. This is pretty rad. We were telling you recently about the Uptown Rumble series of videos on YouTube, as well as the Uptown Rumble exhibition of New York City, and especially the Bronx, New York, where I'm from. Metal and rock legends, underground, hardcore, death metal, thrash metal, big bands like Kiss and Anthrax, and Steven Tyler, who technically was Yonkers, but right next to the Bronx before he moved to Boston as a teenager and met Joe, who he now doesn't like. So the Bronx County Historical Society has put on this thing, and I'm going to have an interview soon with the 2 of the 3 curators of the exhibition. And that was a scene that my bands all played in. And they're doing George A. Romero, Dawn of the Dead. I was wearing my shirt yesterday. I almost wore it today. Jonquière, Quebec. I probably said that terribly. French is one of the few classes I ever failed in college. I'm ashamed to say it. But George A. Romero, who was born in the Bronx and grew up there, they're having a huge retrospective of his work. So this is amazing. If you're going to New York City for a visit, head on up to the Bronx. It's right by Yankee Stadium. It's all gentrified and mostly cool. It's not ghetto at all anymore, that neighborhood. And it's pretty fun. I don't think I'm going to get there in time to see the metal exhibition, but we are going to have some coverage of it at some point. I'm just waiting for some of my team to come free. This is really badass. Joey Diabolic, who is a great underground artist who's big into, he's done thrash, he's done typo negative goth rock, he's done industrial music, covers. He has launched his own Hudson Valley Scene Rock and Metal magazine. If you want to be featured in it, check out at Joey Diabolic on all the socials and HVC. HV Scene, I believe, has their own socials too. Jason Virus is back. Clean, the band is here. What up, what up, what up? Anybody that gives us a follow during these things, I will follow you back. Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose is getting the graphic novel hardcover treatment from Sumerian Comics, Ash Idvilson of Sumerian Records. I met those guys at a Comic-Con a couple of years ago, and Axl, basically, like, from the mind of Axl Rose, Axl's Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses in the middle of a world tour. Got to imagine they're going to announce more dates soon. Fun fact, you did some dope with Away in Hamilton in 2016. Wow. Holy shit, bro. I love Michelle. He is one of my favorite human beings. Deftones, continuing to blow up, booking additional tour dates and things for next year. We were talking about that recently. Obviously, their new album, Private Music, is just blowing up everywhere. And Gino Moreno gave an interview, I think, to Apple Music, and then he did a follow-up one. And he said, like, I'm kind of surprised that people are embracing the band as much as they have, because he felt like when they did White Pony and took kind of a left turn into like dream gaze and shoegaze and away from rap metal, except for a couple of songs here and there, that he felt like people were going to flee them and they would not be popular anymore. Kind of interesting for him to have that self-awareness and self-depreciation. Kind of interesting. Desolate, not the Desolate, the death metal band, but Desolate from New York City, the hardcore influenced thrash metal band, friends of mine, are coming out of retirement for a show in November. Witch Force and Lies Beneath. We were telling you about the death of our friend Wayne from Lies Beneath not too long ago, and the charity show supporting him and his family. My homies in Desolate are coming back. I sincerely hope they're putting out new music. Very exciting times. And the guys in Desolate also have another band called Alekeen's Gun, which features our homie Jessica Pimentel from Orange is the New Black, and the wife of Tomas from Meshuggah. Sing That's Home Festival. This is coming soon. Just got announced. Features the Menzingers. It's always kind of like a folk emo festival. Kind of cool. This is Tesseract. Tesseract is, speaking of another band with a reissue, they're doing a 10th anniversary deluxe vinyl package for Polaris, which also featured the return of Dan Tompkins to the band. They've been making new music. They're writing new music. So this is coming out too. I also put in to maybe do some press around this, maybe get a copy, maybe talk to the band. It'd be kind of fun. I've interviewed Dan and Amos. And I know James of Tesseract pretty well because he's a very well-known music marketer and publicist in the UK. Good times. No. Depeche Mode movie is 3 weeks away, and I am stoked. Concert film and behind-the-scenes stuff. I believe there's a Fathom Events. Hey, Mike Mazer. What up, pal? Long time no see. I hope you're well. Depeche Mode, that's what I love about these live streams. People pop on that I don't get to talk to because social media is kind of like, brr. You don't get to ever see who you want to see. And you don't really get to get in front of new people either. It's fucking whack. But Depeche Mode movie, I am here for this. This is in 3 weeks. I'm very excited. I'm also super excited about Tron Ares. I'm going to listen to the soundtrack this weekend finally. And I'm pumped. I'm super pumped. Oh, man, this is fucking tough. So I don't know if you know this, just a little classic rock shit here from an Ecstatic X Lover is here. Let's talk about this Tina Turner statue in Brownsville, Tennessee. So Tina Turner is from Brownsville. They erected a statue, a 10-foot statue of her. We got a Lemmy statue. We really need a Dio statue. We've got a Philo statue in Dublin for Thin Lizzy, but we don't have. We could use some more statues, and so the sculptor Fred Anjo is under fire. People think this thing looks terrible. I'll let you be the judge. He went with kind of like an impressionistic take on her. She has like a giant head of hair, which Tina was all hair, right? Skinny lady with big ass hair. And like it's a physical representation of how she used to be on stage. So she used to hold the mic like this with the finger point and always kind of like with a dancer's strut. I love me some Tina Turner. What a loss, especially to find out that the last 10 years of her life she was very ill, which makes me sad. But Fred Anjo, it was getting so much hatred all over the world and all over the internet that they had to put out a statement. So I'm going to just read this really quick. My name is Fred Ajano, and I am the artist that created this sculpture. I've been working on it for a while. It took me some time. I wasn't rushing because I wanted to take my time to make sure I get it right. So I tried to achieve 3 things. First, her movements. I wanted her to be seen in flexible form on stage. The second thing is the hair. I used to emphasize her strength as a woman that goes with the mane of a lion. And then very soft, very heavy and strong. And the last is the finger point. I want people to know something is good. Everybody loves it, but it can never be Tina Turner. You can copy her, but there's only one. So I'm happy to do this sculpture for the Brownsville community and the whole family of Tina Turner with her fans. I see a lot of them here, and I'm very happy and pleased. So, man, the internet just doesn't disappoint. The Bon Scott statue rules. Yeah, I got to go see that sometime too. So, yeah, man, I get it. It's a representation. It's kind of like an artistic representation. It's not a one-to-one of how she looked in real life. So I don't know. She's not here to comment on it and say she did not like it. Sonic Youth has just posted a graphic to all their social channels. They've been kind of broken up for a while. Kim Gordon has her second book coming out, or the reissue of her additional book with new chapters. She had a solo record. Thurston Moore, still talking about black metal and making solo music. And Washing Machine 2026. This is just a graphic on their social. So is it getting a reissue? Are they going to reunite and tour? I don't know. We've been fooled me once, fooled me twice, fooled me 3 times. Shame on me. I don't expect them to reunite to tour, but I could see it happening also, and you could see Lollapalooza, Riot Fest, things like that. They could definitely do a world tour, or at least a U.S. tour. Paradise Lost is coming on tour soon with Mesa out in Europe. 85 albums of Paradise Lost done. White people, as soon as one leaf hits the ground. I love this fucking thing. Guilty as charged. We'll be putting up the Halloween tree this weekend and listening to spooky music and maybe eating some spooky treats. Probably not so many treats. I like that the little baby is in the pumpkin. That's good. Good job, parents. All right. Also, the Downward Spiral Redux from Magnetic Eye Records dropped another single today. I got to get my hands on this, so I'm going to hit up their publicists and talk about it. Let's talk about it. And now it's time for New Music Friday. Boy, we really rammed through this thing today. So let's see. What is out? It's a huge week, so I have my work cut out for me. We're just going hard to the end of the year on these new record weeks. We're just going. We used to like slow down after October 1st or October 15th, and not anymore. So we're gonna do band, album title, label if they have one, and a genre if I know the band. Achathras, The Darkness of Ancient Past on Cult Never Dies for some death metal. AFI and their weird, creepy porn stashes. Silver Bleeds the Black Sun on Run for Cover Records. Or some, Joy Division Worship. Agartha, the Hidden EP, No Remorse Records for some more metal. Agriculture, probably the album I'm most pumped about this week. Agriculture, the spiritual sound on the Flenser here in the Bay Area. I'd love to talk to them sometime. Arson Charge, Dying Light, great band. Auservelt, Breath, Moment of Collapse Records. Author and Punisher, second most excited about them. Nocturnal Birding on Relapse Records. Besta, the John Carpenter Redux. This is Besta doing covers of John Carpenter soundtrack stuff. Might be good. Blood Red Hourglass, We Should Be Buried Like This, Out of Line Records. Cathedral, Society's Pact with Satan. This is a brand new Cathedral song that is 31 minutes lost. This was like a lost song they never had out before. So I'm pretty fucking stoked. Let me know if you're stoked too. Kaylin Pop, Nestitute on Loud Rage Records. Carnage Inc., self-titled. Cleaning Women, Washer on Svart Records. Corey Marks, Sorry for Nothing, Volume 2 for some Outlaw Country and Dark Folk. Cranial Structures, Moment of Collapse Records. Cultic Lore on 11th Key Records. Death Havana, good band. We're Never Getting Out, So Records. Dave Profundus, one of the best underground death metal bands ever. The Gospel of Rot EP, self-released. Dirk Schneider and the Old Gang, that's Udo from Accept. Formerly of Accept, Babylon on Reigning Phoenix Music. See a few other things. Dispossessed, Democide on Carbonized Records. Fight From Within, Talk Is Cheap on Virgin Records. For some pop punk. Goldsmith, Into the Woods, Metropolis Records for some industrial. Gore, If You Do Not Fear Me, EP on Spine Farm Records. Grid Failure, The Homies, the star-studded Sixth Mass Extinction, Skullduggery 3 for some avant-garde noise jazz metal. Heath, Control Your Soul's Desire for Freedom on Empty Tape Records. Lore, there's a band called Lore, and there's an album called Lore in the same week. Not a great move. Prologue EP, self-released. Michael Schenker Group, Don't Sell Your Soul on Ear Music. Killer record, I heard some of that already. Mayday Parade, Sad for some emo metalcore. Not for me, but good band. Overall, Necrotic Woods, Perversions Committed on Flesh on the Crawling Chaos Records. Orbit Culture, as mentioned. Please check out my interview on YouTube and podcast, Death Above Life. Ovo Gemma on Artifact Records for some industrial metal. Post Heaven, The Space That's in Between EP on Grayscale Records. Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, X's for Eyes, Better Noise Music. Let's see, Sienna Root, Made in Cuba, Perception Records. Some of Our, Spectral Dusktone Records. Tenacious D, The Complete Masterworks, Volume 3, Blu-ray and DVD, self-released. Today is the Day. Very fucking excited for new Today is the Day. Never Give In. My homie Colin Frecknell is the new drummer of Today is the Day. Very excited. Valder, Guiding Abyss. Woad, great black metal band. Uncrossing the Keys, blackened death metal on $20 spin. Windwalkers, I Don't Belong Here EP. I wonder if that's a Radiohead cover. Fearless Records. And Yowie for some very avant-garde weird metal. Taking umbrage on the great Skin Graft Records. Am I doing a Steve Austin interview? Tom Osmond did one for himself and for us. So I think he's doing the Steve interview, and I'm just waiting for Omar to publish it, finish editing it. That guy does a lot. All right, it's time for the mailbag, and then I'm getting out of Dodge. So I love that Taking Back Sunday put this Aching Back Sunday. Hank Hill. Gosh, damn it, my bad. Pretty funny. Thanks, Dillinger. I appreciate you. The mailbag is the last section of the show. And what I do in the mailbag is I show off some stuff that I either got in the mail or I picked up at a store, or metal things I bought, some merch at the show. A couple of weeks ago, I showed my shirts from Baroness and the Sword. I've been showing some vinyls that I found, a little stash of unchecked vinyls and unopened vinyls that I had from the last few years. I actually just did Dillinger Escape Plans Deluxe reissue of Disassociation on the Glacial Musical podcast, Dillinger. You can go check that out. It's fucking beautiful if you don't have it. I'm sure you have it. So I was pet sitting last weekend, which was very good for my extremely high blood pressure. Next week, I promise to do that. I'll do that health check next week with my numbers and everything. Midland news. I'm okay, but I'm not the best. So I got work to do. So I was pet sitting my favorite orange cat, Jax. And in that town where I used to live, where Jax lives, is an awesome record store and a great comic book shop. So a big supporter of Ghost Cult is John Harder of Waterfront Comics in Sassoon City, right near Fairfield. And John is a big fan and a supporter. He is actually trying to put on Metal Fest next year. It's kind of an open secret, but he's becoming a kind of a bigger scene person locally up there in the Fairfield County area. So I went into the store just to see him and say hi. And he gave me some stuff and I bought some stuff. So I just want to show off. I got this Batman, Absolute Batman #1 All In. This is the biggest selling comic book of the last, half decade. That's a major comics brand comic. Shout out to Ken Pierce of Piercing Metal, sometimes pops up on these things. And he was in my ear buzzing about this comic book and the huge numbers it did and just how important it was to just help, support comic creators right now. But I mostly like underground books these days when I do read things. So I'm very excited to page through this. And then I was trying to buy my favorite Iron Maiden album is Power Slave, and I had a little bit of money left over from my birthday, and I was going to buy this Funko. And he's like, don't take that one, leave this one, and instead take this for free. And I was like, what? And it's the Somewhere in Time Funko signed by Derek Riggs for John at a show. And I was like, man, I can't take that from you. That's worth a lot of money. I actually dented the box coming home, just the wear and tear on the Amtrak down to the city. But I was very overcome. He's a really sweetheart of a dude to give. He basically, sold this to me, for the price of. So, gave it to me and I bought the other. Unbelievable and kind. And even Derek Riggs' signature, I don't know if you can see this, looks like the Somewhere in Time Bionic Eye. The $6 million man. This is incredible. I love Iron Maiden and I love Funkos, as you know, as you've seen the Funkos here. Here's a Funko. There a Funko. There's a Funko of me, actually. Look at me. Everywhere a Funko. I have Dio always nearby. Look out! Anyway. So, Derek Riggs autographed Funko. And then, again, Somewhere in Time, my favorite Iron Maiden. Power Slave, my favorite Iron Maiden record. I'm fucking delirious here. So, really fucking awesome. Geek culture for life. New York Comic Con is next week. All kinds of cool stuff. Geek things are happening. Electro Blum is here. What up, brother? I only have 3 Funkos, 2 Marvel, and a chick from Squid Game. Nice. Squid Game might be a thing for us to watch this weekend also, Melissa. Maybe we'll watch the first one. It does have kind of a terror. It's not quite horror, but it has a terror element to it. And that's the show. I think I had the Funko logo up here. I had the Funko logo. So that's the show. It's spooky season. Drop a comment and tell me what your favorite Halloween movie is or what your Halloween ritual is. Andy Mosby's has also jumped in on the gram. Thanks, brother. Everybody, my real ones, new friends, old friends, thanks for being here. Check out ghostcultmag.com. Keep it to YouTube, especially, where we drop a lot of our big feature content. Be safe out there this weekend. Please don't drink and drive. And as I say every week at this juncture of the show, it's a tough time in the world. So please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and stay as metal as humanly possible. And if everything cooperates, I'm going to dance a jig on the way out. Let's see what happens. It needs a minute. Technical difficulties the whole way. There it is. I get to dance a jig. Thanks for being here, everybody. Have a great weekend. I appreciate y'all. Keep it metal.